Thank you. Well, we've just concluded what was an incredibly productive parliamentary session. I want to thank all members for what I think was a very constructive and collegial period of time. I said at the onset that it was important for Parliament, for parliamentarians to find a way to find middle ground and to work through some of the difficult issues. We were able to see progress on doubling the GST credit. We were able to see the dental care adopted so that children can have access to dental care. We were able to see support for low-income renters. We saw the adoption of the fall economic statement. We saw just today support to make sure that that journalists are appropriately compensated in a new and very different online world. So we've seen a lot of progress on a lot of different issues, and I think that sets us up for a very productive session coming forward. But I think we were able to get a tremendous amount done by reducing some of the rancor and by finding a way to work more collaboratively, and it's my hope that we'll continue that in the new year.
I guess two questions. I know you're expected somewhere else in a second. I wonder if you could give your assessment at this point as we come to the end of the fall session of the deal with the NDP. What do you think has worked? What would you like to see improvements on your end? I know you meet with the NDP to sort of talk that out, and I'd like to hear your point of view on that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember it's a supply and confidence agreement, which means that we have an agreement to support the continuance of the government, but it doesn't mean that we're going to agree on all things. And I think over the last number of months, we've seen how that's lived. That there are many instances where we have disagreements, and sometimes very forceful disagreements with the NDP, but that I think overall the agreement to find a way to continue to have Parliament continue and get its work done has worked very effectively. I think that the work that I was just talking about in terms of ensuring that we have dental care for kids, the work that we're talking about making sure generally our affordability measures are adopted and listening to other parties has worked very well. So I think that collaboration on an issue-by-issue basis has worked very well, and that we continue to see big differences between our two parties, but that Canadians expect us to work through those and continue to advance the things that are most important to Canadians. And so I think that's worked effectively.
And then I just wonder, casting forward in 2023, I mean, I know there's time now between now and when you guys come back in January, but what could you, if you could just flick at the government's key priorities as you see them early in 2023 as we head into a spring budget and so on?
Well, I think, look, very clearly we're going to continue to be focused on affordability. We're facing global headwinds in terms of the cost of living for Canadians, the ability for them to pay for their mortgage, to pay for groceries, to pay for gas. So affordability is key and front of mind. That's going to be our focus in the new year. Certainly the environment and continuing to take action on the existential crisis of climate change and continuing to move that as a priority, and continuing to combat the forces that are attacking democracy, whether it be in foreign interference or the rise of despotism in other parts of the world, and making sure that that flame of democracy is protected both domestically and abroad, I think will be major themes in the new year. Thank you so much.